Thank you so much for being on the Politics Hub this evening. It's good to have you on the show. I just want to start with the tragedy that we've seen in the Channel. 12 people thought to have drowned after a boat broke apart, carrying so many people hoping to get to the UK. How do you think the government needs to respond?
Well, it is a huge tragedy. I think everyone hearing and seeing this our hearts will go out to those people, victims and their families and friends. And I really hope that the government will sort out this problem. Everyone wants to see these boat crossings ended. And the question is how you do that. Clearly the Conservatives' policy didn't work, and we need a new approach, whether that's through safe legal routes or whether it's through managing this whole process far better, working with our international partners, because we can't keep seeing these crossings, particularly when they end in such tragedy.
When you say they're working with international partners, and it feels to me, like I'm not an expert in this area, but everyone I speak to who knows about this situation says the key is talking to France, it's talking to the EU, it's getting these returns agreements in place. If we're serious about that, they're going to ask us to take in more immigrants or to take in more asylum seekers. Is that something that we should be looking to do?
Well, we should certainly be engaging with our European colleagues. I think the top thing is to crack down on the international crime gangs. I mean, there are people who are profiting out of misery.
It's hard to do that though, isn't it? Look, everyone wants to smash the gangs, as Labour puts it, but the thing that might actually bear fruit is talking to France, talking to the EU and getting an agreement where they take people back once they arrive here. And realistically, the only way to do that is for us to take in more people from the EU, right?
Well, you won't be surprised to know that the Liberal Democrats strongly believe in working with our European partners to tackle all these sorts of problems, and whether it's going down the route of security, being tough on these criminals, whether it's working out how we stop these crossings in other ways. Liberal Democrats think that's what the government should be doing, getting around the table, being active, and that, I'm afraid, didn't happen under the Conservative government. It's one of the reasons why the asylum immigration system is in such a mess.
When we have seen Keir Starmer trying to rebuild some of those relationships with Germany, for example, and other EU partners, do you think that he should be talking about rejoining the single market?
I don't think that's the right time or the right argument to make at the moment. I do think we need a trade deal. And I welcome the fact that the Prime Minister seems to be reaching out, but I think we should be going further. For example, there's been a debate, mainly from the European side so far, about introducing a youth mobility scheme. Liberal Democrats would strongly support that, and I've been a bit disappointed that that's not been taken as a way forward. We have youth mobility schemes with Japan and Korea and Australia and many other countries. Why don't we have that sort of scheme with our European neighbours? I think it would be brilliant for British young people to be able to get back that freedom to travel and work and study and so on. And I think our economy would benefit too. So that's the sort of thing that I think we should be engaging with the Europeans far more positively.
You talk about the Conservatives' failed policy on this, as you put it. At what point should we, I guess, stop looking at what the previous government did when we're looking at the deaths on the boats and some of the tragic crossings we've seen, and looking at the current government's policy?
Oh, we should do that now. No doubt about that. But inevitably, one references what the failures of the past, so we learn from those. And it's really quite sad that the Conservatives seem to be stuck in the past and be arguing about that. We need a fresh set of policies that would work. And so whether it's making sure the asylum application process system works better, whether it's engaging with our European colleagues, or something that Liberal Democrats have argued for, which is to give asylum seekers the right to work from 3 months here so that they can contribute to our society, pay taxes, and the taxpayer isn't having to pay a huge bill for hotel accommodation. That's a fresh approach, and I think it would work really well.
You're here to talk about winter fuel payments.
Yeah.
Was the Labour Party right to axe winter fuel payments for so many pensioners?
No, it wasn't. We know there's a huge problem with the finances. There's no doubt that the Conservatives mismanaged the economy and the deficit is huge, and that has to be tackled, but this is not the way to do it. Liberal Democrats will look at different options when the budget comes and we'll scrutinise them, but the idea that we should remove these winter fuel payments from millions of pensioners as we go into winter, as we see Ofgem raising the cap on energy bill prices over 10%. This is just wrong, and I think it's a mistake, and Liberal Democrats will vote against it.
At the same time, though, you mentioned the deficit. There's a big black hole in the finances. What's your idea? Have you found the magic money tree under the bed? What's going on?
No, but at the general election, to be fair to the Liberal Democrats, we put forward a whole set of cost of policies. We were putting forward ideas that no other party seemed to be willing to touch. So I've mentioned one already. If you allow asylum seekers the right to work, you save a lot of money and you get tax revenue from that. We put that forward, no one else did. I'll give you another example. We said into our affordable tax policies that we did think that some of the sectors, be they in social media, be they in oil and gas, be they in the banks, they could afford to pay more taxes. We said that the very wealthy billionaires should be asked to pay more, particularly in capital gains tax. So we've put forward, to be fair to us, at the election campaign, a whole set of ideas to sort out the public finances, invest, particularly in our health service and our care. And what's disappointing is that this measure on winter fuel payments wasn't mentioned at the eletion.
Do you think it was a bit deceptive then?
Well, I just think that the government's got to come clean. Yes, it's got to really manage this deficit. It is a huge problem.
If you're saying it's a wrong policy, you criticise them for not mentioning it. It sounds like you do think it was a bit deceptive.
Well, it's definitely the wrong policy, and I think people should be more upfront. And that's one of the many reasons why we will be opposing this. This wasn't mentioned in the election, and we think with pensioners already being really badly treated by the Conservatives. Let's remember that. The Conservatives for 1 year ended the triple lock, hitting pensioners. They put up energy bills. They put up taxes, income tax changes, which really hit pensioners. So pensioners have had a tough time already under the Conservatives. I think they shouldn't really be the first target of Labour and the new government, and that's why we'll vote against it.
Just finally, you've got an awful lot more MPs now behind you than you did in the last Parliament. How's it feel?
Well, it's very exciting to have the largest number of Liberal Democrat MPs for over 100 years, the largest third party in Parliament for over 100 years. That is exciting, and we've got some great colleagues. I'm looking forward to the public seeing them. But here's the issue. It comes with a huge responsibility. So in our pleasure and delight at winning so many seats, we know we've now got to deliver for the communities that we've had our local champions elected for. Those Liberal Democrat MPs are going to champion their community, but also in the national debate. This government needs a responsible opposition that's going to support them when we agree, because I think that's what people see. They don't want everyone shouting all the time. They want to have constructive opposition. But, this is crucial, making it clear where you disagree with them, whether it's on things like the winter fuel payments or other areas.
OK, thank you very much.
Thank you.